Welcome everybody, Kathy Arbor here, and today is Watercolor Tuesday. Hope you're all having a fantastic time today and this beautiful spring, late spring day. It's gorgeous here in Canada. Weather's finally nice. The hot spells broke and back to gardening for me. So I'll be doing another flower from my garden. This time it's going to be a peony. This is one of the peonies I have in my garden. This is I'm not sure of the name of this one, but it's probably one of the more simpler ones for a beginner to do. And it's a single, and it's kind of got this pom-pom in the center. So I thought I would do this one today. So I'll be posting this picture up on my Instagram page, and it's Kathy Arbor on Instagram, and you're more than welcome to download it and use it for your reference. So just before I get going on that, this is what we did last week, and it's the stream where I showed how to do perspective and shading. You can find that in my videos under watercolor. And Thursday we did this of a sky in the evening, or could be morning sky too, of a canoer on the lake. It's done with acrylics and a little bit of acrylic marker. Very easy, simple to do, so if you want to give this a try, I do have a step-by-step video from last Thursday. Hi Z! Yeah, that was our wisteria one we did the week before. Hi Janet, good to see you. And I did find my June folder. Oh yeah, this is the poppy we did last week. So that rose was done the week before. This was done last week, and this is an ink and watercolor. So we did a little bit of pen work. As you can see, the little fuzzy things on the stems and the pods are with pen. And then just a little bit of detail in the flower, not a lot. And it was a very fine, it was a 0.1, I think. So we did that last week. And this was our folder for May. So we did the mermaid. And there was a downloadable for that. And then that was a DD challenge. And then this one was another Thursday one that we did, and it was for, I believe there's a downloadable for the traceable for this one also. And I haven't done anything on the back, so I still have papers to put in that, so I might just add them. I'm so far behind in my stuff. So I thought today we could do this peony. So I know some peonies are very full, and this is a single, and it's got a very interesting center. So I'll put this up on my Instagram after the video is done, and you guys can use that for your reference if you want to paint along. And I did get Happy Mail from Zandra, and she's in chat, and it was perfect. It was like the day after my birthday, Zandra, so it was like getting a birthday gift. And always comes with beautiful tissue paper. Now, of course, I had to take it out of its wrapping and see what was in there. But I love that tissue. I don't know where you get your tissues, but they're gorgeous. And lots of goodies. And the bees. And washi tape. I don't have any of these at all. So these are going to be fun. Love it. Little bunny wood that I can paint. This would be really cute to paint, actually. And a nice card and one of these magnets for fridge. And this is her own work. I love it. See, you did a really good job on these. I just love them. And her card, of course. And a little mermaid. Isn't that cute? And really neat napkins. Everybody loves these napkins. So I'm gonna have to get back into my napkin journal and do some more. And I don't have any of these, Sandra. You were really good. And thank you so much for the paint, the watercolor. Yes, there's her website. She has a store. Sells mixed media, scrapbook paper, paint, all kinds of stuff. Fantastic prices. And it's the Paint and Paper Studio. And I love rose gold. I didn't have any of this, and I've been wanting some. And this gold too. You can see the shimmer. I don't know if you can see the shimmer on it, but it's got awesomeness in it. So we'll have to play with some of that. Little bags. I love these. And then, look at this. Stencils. And I don't have any of these stencils. I don't know how you did it. Thanks, Janet. These are so great. Studio Light. I love this. I love that type of font. This one's awesome. Storyteller. Vicky Booten. So you actually get 3 in this. And I don't have any of them. Another one here. These are going to be great for my diary that I do. Love these. You earned your pay. Random dots. These are so awesome. Look at this one. Stamperia. I love that. I love them all. I just can't believe I don't have any of them. Look Look at that. These are so fantastic. This reminds me of Zentangling. Oh, and I love this. These are so great. The butterfly, look at that. Yeah, the Studio Light ones are fantastic. I haven't seen any of these on any other type. These are going to be so nice. Thank you so, so much, Z. I so appreciate it. Oh, I'm going to have fun, definitely. And then the beautiful shimmery blue. That's gorgeous. Can't wait to use that too. Love that paper. Favorite color. So I might even try using some of these. Maybe we'll use some of these for what we're doing today. So we're going to do a peony. It's hard to pick. I like this one here. Maybe we'll try this one. String. So what I'm thinking of doing is putting this in a background so that it's not standing out quite too much, but just enough to show a little bit of interest in the background. Sometimes it's nice to do that. Or even a border would be nice. So we'll turn the page and start a new one. Oh look, it fits perfectly on this book too. It was made for it. She is. She is one of the most kind, generous person I have ever met. Very, very true. We're very lucky to have you in our lives. So if we're going to do this, I'm going to show you how I'm going to go about drawing that. If you want to take a screenshot, you can. And I'm going to probably put it down here. Sometimes it's nice not to have it right dab in the center, but on a third is usually more pleasing to the eye. So if you wanted a little bit more of a composition in your pages, think about a rule of thirds. So if you're just going to be doing this one page here, and you plan on doing, say, some kind of a word, or maybe you're going to write about something about the plant or whatever you're putting in. Hey Debbie, good morning. Then it's nice to have your page divided by thirds. So normally a pleasing composition. I'll just get this here. Pencil. Is rule of thirds. So if you kind of make a tic-tac-toe board on your page, and the thirds are 1, 2, and 3. So a top, medium, and a bottom. Side, medium, and another side. So you can either put them in here on the where they cross, whatever your main focal image is, and then if it's not the same size or the same type of thing that you're drawing, you can also say put the words in here. And then the background, you could have, say, around here, some of the stencil, so that you still have the 1, 2, and 3 items, and you're also on thirds. So the main stencil part would be up here in the top third, and then your focal image, and then whatever you're writing about. And there's different ways of going about this too. You can put them, say, in this third, and then maybe you want the writing in this third. It's good to make little thumbnails of how you want to put the composition of your page together. And that way, instead of guessing at it, you kind of know where to place things before you start painting or gluing or whatever you're doing. Hot spots, where they cross is what they call them. Hot spots, okay. And there's different diagrams you can get for different, there's this type of thing too. I can't remember what they call it. I'll probably get into that in another video, but right now I think I'm gonna put mine, yeah, I think I'm gonna put it up here in this area. Now it can be larger than just the third. It can be 2/3 of the page would be fine, but it's still on the third, if you know what I mean. So this peony is going to go up here, and I'm just going to make the center, this is where I want my center of the peony to be, and I know I'm going to be going off the page with some of the outside petals. Not all, because it's kind of the petals are kind of flared back a little bit in this one, but they're probably, let's see, it's about half the size, the distance from the center of the peony to the edge of where this pom-pom is in the center is about the same size as this one petal here. So if you want to get an idea of how comparisons of sizes, that's how you can also draw without a grid line. Compare all your sizes with other things in the picture. Takes a while, but after you do a few, you start to be able to see things without having to do a whole lot of drawing, actually. And then you can naturally just put them in. I'm just going to put the outside petals. there's one little one up here. And they are quite serrated, so okay, so that's the base of my drawing. So then these are kind of they're kind of wavy, these center things. Let me zoom in. But they're more laying down around the edge, and there's just a few standing up in the center. So you want to draw the ones that are closest to you that aren't necessarily crossing each other. So the ones that are, you can see the whole shape you start off with. And then you work backwards. So, and the ones in the center are probably a little bit closer to you too, so they'll have a bigger top part because it's closer, and then as it goes down into the flower, it slims down. They're kind of wiggly looking. So we'll just put a few of these in. You don't have to draw it all like exact. Nobody's gonna know. Just put them in and start going underneath them now. So you crisscross underneath them as you go around. So they get thicker and thicker along the outer edge. You see more of them crossing each other. So just keep going underneath the other ones. Don't go over top. And they're not all straight. Could kind of go every which way. You might just see a bunch of lines. Some are a little bit wider than other ones. Crossing over. Just make it up basically once you start getting the majority of down. Then just, you don't have to do it exact. Just add a bunch of lines. Nobody's gonna follow them to see if they're right. you want more on the outside edge. So it looks fairly thick around the outer edge. And it doesn't have to be, it can be out around too, because it's not, it looks more interesting, and they aren't completely, it's not a completely round. You can see spaces. So it dips in there, goes out again, dips in. So make it a different shape. And then we can put, now it's not really showing the stem per se, but we can put a few leaves in. Okay, so something like that. Kathy, can you zoom in? Yep. There. Is that better? Get my exposure a little better. There. All right. All right, so now I'm going to take my eraser here, so any lines that I might have crossed over with, oop, that's not it. Where did I put it? So get rid of some of these. Now these are fairly light colored, so I'm not going to want too much of this line work in the graphite to show through. So what you can do is take a kneadable eraser and just lightly, ever so lightly, go over your pencil work and just pat it. Don't rub it, just pat the area with your kneadable eraser. And to clean them, you just have to open them and like stretch them, and it'll clean your eraser and it softens it. And then just pat it. So it just takes some of that graphite off so it's not so right in your face, because once you put watercolor on, you can't erase it that much. You can do a little bit depending on how many layers you have on, but the real heavy marks, if you paint over them, they're not going to come up after you've painted. Now if you were going to do all of the center in line work, you may not have to do that, but I like to just dull it down a little bit just in case, so I have more I can, if I want to, or I can leave it, so it's not restricting me in doing certain things. There. So I can still see it, but it's not really dark anymore. All right. So the center, the very, very, very center, is kind of, it's shaded by the other ones. So we can work on that, and it's kind of a ochre color. So we can work on the inside of the pom-pom first. Now you can see some of the very outside of those, whatever they're stamens, or I'm not sure what they are, could be petals, are lighter. So we want to keep the white of those to be white. So if you have any kind of frisket, or you can put that on. I don't have any here, so I'm just going to make sure I don't paint over those. So I'm going to take my, this is a number 4, and I pre-wet my palette already, so they're ready to be done. And it's kind of a peachy yellow color. Let's see, almost ochre. Let's see if we can make something up here. I'm going to clean one of my palette areas. Probably won't need that. Make sure it's good and clean, especially if you've got any dark colors in it. When you're putting in yellow, it doesn't take much for it to muddy it. And I'll take some of this. Just going to add clean water to it. And then I'm just going to go, I'm going to remember where my lights are, and then just go in the center and put some streaks in. try to avoid coloring the whole thing, and don't go on those bigger areas that you put in, like in here, this one here, and here, because those will be a lot more bright. So those are your whites that you're trying to preserve. So this is the wet on to dry that we're doing. And then got some, it's almost a magenta color, I guess you could say. Let's put some of this in. There we go. And then there's this magenta striping also in it. It's mostly down the centers too. I'm just doing just some line work with the tip of my brush. So just take your time. This one's a little more fussy because of the streaking in it. So we couldn't do like a big wash on this one because of the red and the yellow combined. Just keep looking at your reference to get an idea. It's more or less on the bottom to the mid area of all these. It's kind of this bit of magenta color. And then there's a little bit of, right in the center, there's a little bit of green. So I'm just going to take, I got some green on my palette here, I'm just going to use that kind of a bright mid-green, I guess you could say. I'm just going to add a little bit of that in this center here and there. Doesn't have to be a lot, just to show that it's there. Okay. Then I'm going to take that yellow again, a little more water on my brush, and do a little bit more around some of those, the edges of some of those petals. See how they're kind of outlined? So any of the bigger ones, you can just outline them with that yellow. So I'm not really, following it to the exact by the letter type of thing. But I'm just looking at it and see what the characteristics are of most of the petals, and just apply it to your drawing. So I know that some of these are outlined with the yellow. So that's what I'm going to do with some of these. Hey Darlene, Joan. Hey Tori, good to see you. And let's see, we'll let that dry and we'll go into some of these leaves. So it's a nice hooker's green. And I'm just going to put it over here. And there's another lighter green, and I'm just adding a little bit of yellow down here. Just to lighten it a bit. And the tips are lighter. Now with this you can go a little bit lighter on the edges. The veining doesn't really show a whole lot. Then take my darker color and start back here. Take a wet brush. Yeah, if you're doing this with colored or watercolor paper, you'll have better success. This isn't watercolor paper, so your water will move better on watercolor paper, but just play with it. These are just for my nature journaling, so I'm not going for a frameable watercolor. This is just a sketch, so ink and wash, kind of urban, like an urban sketch, but with flowers. So just a wash and some ink. Hi, Kathy. Hey, Lori. Okay, so I want this to be fairly dry, so I'm going to dry this because I'm going to put a bit of a wash over top of this. So I'm going to do a little bit of a soft pink, very, very watered down. And I'm just going to kind of fill in some of this area here with it. Not going to go too far, just midway, I guess you could say. But it's very watered down. And then I'm going to take that yellow, and I want that really watered down. Very, very pale. And then I'm going to go in the center. And then I'm going to take that really watered down yellow and put in some more over top of those areas that were white, because they're not a true white in the picture. They're more of a creamy yellow, like a banana yellow almost. And so this watered down yellow will be just about the right color for those pieces. And then if they're a little bit too dark, I'm not worried about it. I'll just take a colored pencil and fix them. So I didn't do a whole lot of shading. Something like this where there's a lot of little lines and stuff, you can either spend the time afterwards to do it in colored pencil, or you can continue with your watercolor just to do a little bit of a shading around certain ones. Now I want to do a nice, let's see, magenta color. These are really, really bright magenta, the outer petals. So there's the outer petals. So they're very, very bright. So I got nice watered down magenta here. And I'm going to start off with the outer edges because it's a lighter magenta. And I'm just going to streak it because there will be darker and lighter areas in the petals. So just along the edge, I streak it, and then I'll go back in with a lighter color to get the mid-tone where the sun would be reflecting off of it. It'll be a little bit lighter, not a whole lot, but a little bit. Let's see, this one's fairly dark in there, but I'll put a little bit there on the edge. This one here, very bright here. When you're working on sketchbook paper too, you have to make sure you don't get a lot of puddles because they will bloom. You like the opera rose? This one's mid-tone in there. And then you kind of have to, right along the outer edge, you kind of have to do a little bit of negative painting in between all those little center petals just to give it some darker areas where they would be over top of the petals. So you kind of have to decide where you want those. Doesn't have to be a lot. But you want them fairly dark, so get your paint fairly thick. And do a little negative painting. This is actually really good for anyone that's starting out doing the fine work on it. Helps you with your control of the tip of your brush. I Devin? It's nice and dark in the center. Takes a little longer, but it's a good one to do. Kind of have to do it quietly. Get concentrating where I'm painting. Okay, now I'm gonna just lighten the area a little bit, and I can go right over top of this again. Just make sure you don't cover all your lighter areas of the yellow. You want to keep those as clean as possible. So you just kind of do a glazing over top. And then we'll go in with some darker yet. But we want to fill in all those areas that are white. So when you glaze over top of your existing one, it gets darker. Didn't paint this one. Alright, and then I'm going to take a little bit more of that green, that Hooker's green, while that's drying. And darken that up in this area a little bit. Then I'll put a little bit of pen work under on this too. Hey Michelle. Alright, so let's dry that so I can give it another coat of the pink. Okay, I'm going to take more of that pink color and from the inside work out again. So I want all those stamens and stuff to stand out a little more. So we'll give this another go. And anywhere where there was petals crossing or a little fold, like this one here, see how dark it is underneath here? That was this one here, so it can be nice and dark. And there's a definite line. And then this is fairly dark in here. So it must be curved down a little bit maybe. And there's a little bit of and this one here has a little bit. Kind of folded in here. Maybe the edges have a few lines. It's very dark right in here. Very, very dark. So let's enhance that a little more. This part here, more dark. Right in here. And there's a fold there. So it's quite dark. Color this in. I'm just taking some of this and doing a few more lines in the center here. And then I'm going to probably take either colored pencil or ink. I'm not sure. Okay, let that dry a little bit. So there's what it looks like so far. Now, as it's drying, This is the stencil that Xandra gifted to me. And I'm going to do it very pale, I think. And I think I'm going to go with maybe a very, very soft green and maybe a hint of pink. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a bigger brush and wet my paper that I want this to go on. So some clean water. And I'm trying not to go around too much. Don't touch your watercolor area that you've already done, because you don't want that to be affected. You could, if you got a really fine sprayer, that would look cool too, but I don't have one right here. Well, it's wet. Because this is sketchbook paper, you kind of have to move fast. It's not going to work. Let's see if I spray it. Might work if I do the... It has to lay flat for this to work. See if it works. It's better done on watercolor paper. It worked a little bit. Let's see if we can do it again. The idea is to take off some, but you can't really rub sketchbook paper. Works better with, yeah, it's going to work better with, see if I just pat it with watercolor paper. This will work. Just, I want it very light. Okay. And then, let's see. Just put a little bit of that yellow. Maybe some of the green up here. Okay. Let's try it. Bye, Devin. Thanks for coming. Hi, May. You just have to play with stuff, see what you can do. Okay, I think I'm going to I'm going to use a brown marker. This is a 101 micron. I'm just gonna outline some of these center just to give them a little bit more definition so you know what they are. And then I can also come back in with a white colored pencil and highlight a few areas. And the brown is nice because it's not too out in your face, bold looking, because you don't want to make it too sharp because it's such a delicate looking flower. And I find that when you put too much dark line work in, it kind of makes the flower look hard. It loses its softness. So just a few. Kind of separating some and concentrating, getting quiet again. You can make darker shaded areas and bits where it's really dark. Just color in those areas a little. Give a little more depth to your drawing. And then in the leaf, and the petal, the bigger petals, you could, doesn't have to be a lot, but it's so close to that magenta color, just gives a little bit more, but not, it doesn't make it so dark that it's distracting, I guess you could say. Just a little bit on the leaves, not a lot. Okay. Trying to get as much as I can get done. All right, let's try some colored pencil now. Let's see. I have one in here. Maybe put it back. Let me get a colored pencil. All right. Now I'm just going to lighten some of these bigger areas. In the center. Where did I just put it? Oh, there it is. good to see you. You've worked on some really pretty things today. Okay, so very simple. Now you could take a little bit and make just a little bit of a highlight in the where they might be curling, or like this here would have been a little bit lighter. In here. There. So use what you have. If you have colored pencils and you don't have any inks, use colored pencils. Use whatever you have. Okay, Tori, have a fantastic day. All right, and then, yeah, put writing in here. See, I made this so it's fairly light. It's not too dark, but I can still write over this without having any problem reading what I've written. So again, it's just simple. You can add something like this on top. You could actually even take the photograph and make a small picture of it and put it down here if you wanted to. So any questions? That light area too. Oh, I already put the, well, let's try this gold. Ooh, nice. Give a little sparkle. Oh wow, that's gorgeous. Oh, I love that gold, Xandra. That's gorgeous. It's shimmery. Wow. It's actually perfect for adding a little bit of pizzazz to your watercolors. I'll show you in a minute. Hope I can get it to show, because it does, it adds beautiful. That is cool. I really like that. Wow. Is that one of your own, Sandra? Because that's gorgeous. Oh, I hope I can show it. If you guys are interested in this gold, it's from Sandra's shop, scrapstobeauty.com, and it's called Sun Gold. I don't know if you can see that. Isn't that gorgeous? Look. That's so awesome. Wow. Oh, fairy wings, yes. Yeah. Look at that shine. Oh my goodness. That is awesome. That just made that flower. Wow. Oh, that is amazing. Thanks, Darlene. Have a good day. That's amazing. Look at it there. Isn't that beautiful? All right. Well, I guess I better let you guys go. I still have some company here. If you're interested in the paints, Xander, you better get making some. And I haven't used this one yet. It's the rose gold. Can't wait to use that. Oh. Sorry. My kids keep calling me on my stream days. So I'll let you guys go, and if you want to give this a try, I'll post it on my Instagram of the picture, and then you can give it a try. All right, so I'll let you guys go, and we'll talk to you on Thursday for the mixed media live stream. So everyone, have a fantastic day, and get outside and do some drawing and get creative. Bye for now.